Greetings everyone, I am RSV. SEGA is nothing like the summoner class from base game, and has well and truly earned its name change. The class with its 3 pets fluidly goes through the motions as it attacks, and unlike summoner who sits back and watches, the SEGA takes front line and center alongside their pets. This makes the class more involved and makes it so that you actually have to pay attention to what you're doing or you will die. And as such has also been given a counter that makes it even more playable. The class mainly relies on its 2 pets, Friedran for ranged and Wolfen for melee, but each 3 of the pets has its own gauge, a blue gauge and a red gauge for your combined attack ability between the Friedran and the Wolfen. But that's not all. Every time that you successfully parry, you'll get a stack of the Maroon counter, and that just makes the class reward you for doing everything. In fact, the class rewards you for using your resources at the right time, and more importantly, rewards your choices that you make in gameplay. SEGA is one of the only classes in the game that also throws this all into a single rotation. Of course, you are usually spamming the same ability over and over again until your gauge is full enough, but the class has rotational effects that cause you to make split-second decisions, which challenges you as a player, which I think makes the class more dynamic and more interesting. It also expands how the class feels in every encounter, making every encounter slightly different because your procs are so beneficial to you. In fact, in some cases you can be focusing on building up Friedran's bar, but then proc the Friedran proc, and before you know it, you're at 2 stacks by accident. Paying attention to these procs can help the SEGA maximize their damage and really make sure the SEGA is at full potential. And most importantly, there are very few nitpicks that I'd have with the SEGA class personally. And the main nitpick I have is that it can feel very disjointed to switch between your blue bar and red bar attacks, even though both sides have an ability that combos perfectly into the other. And in fact, Wolfran's attack tends to be really good at initiating switching to Wolfran and even just ending the Wolfran chain. However, one big issue I have with SEGA is that makes me worry about class balance in the future. The class is just good at everything. It can handle AoE, it can handle single target, and it just feels like it doesn't have any weaknesses. For this reason, it's not really a problem with the class itself, but it just worries about balancing in the future. And well, considering that it is an all-rounder class, you'd assume that it would be good at nothing, like a jack of all trades. But instead, it does feel like it just is really good at everything. Even adds new utility to the way that you heal and the way that you play the game. Although I will mention that making your rester heal over time would potentially be a negative more than a positive. So that one skill ends up coming off as more of a negative and a wasted 10 points. So it means you can put 1 point into that skill and then just fill up the entirety of the rest of your skill tree. I don't know if that was intended or not, but in my opinion, healing over time effects are weaker than just an instant heal, even if you are overcapping somewhat, which is where the 1 point into that skill does come in handy. Instant heals can be a lot more beneficial than healing over time effects in the right circumstance, especially in Geolab where you're likely getting hit to an inch of your life anyway. You just want to be healed to full as quickly as possible in case you take another hit real soon. But otherwise, the class is really fun, and I really enjoy playing it personally. It made me decide to really invest in a tech set, and that is not something that most classes could make me do. Though, to be honest, it was most likely more so the add-on skills that did that than the class itself, but those 2 factors together make the class very, very valuable to use and play, because honestly it is very versatile and very good to use while leveling up your other characters, and takes a very long time to get old. But I've been RSV, what do you think of SEGA, and I'll see you next time.